Saturday night out at the Meadows, we've got Group 1 racing left, right and centre. The final of the Australian Cup, proudly brought to you by Morris Blackburn. And we've also got the running of the final of the Superstayers, brought to you by Macro Meats, where we see Miata go round. Friendless in betting, she's out to $1.80 in a few agencies. And we've also got a wonderful maiden final too, where we may well see a star of the future grace the track. It's all happening as Marg Long joins me from the Meadows. Marg, I'd say it's been a pretty busy week for you in the office there, but it's going to be a great night on Saturday night.
Most certainly is, Nadia. The sun's going to shine on Saturday, and you wouldn't wish for better fields anywhere. We're looking forward to a great crowd and lots of super racing.
I enjoyed Heat Night. It was great last week.
It was fantastic, wasn't it? I just loved it. They just kept popping up all the good names and all the quick times, and it was just great racing.
And it was spectacular racing too, Mick. There were a lot of dogs who found a lot of trouble, and there's been a lot said about Miata's performance throughout the week. Is she up to her best on the time she ran? And it's really opened up in some ways the Superstars final too.
Yeah, you're right. It's a bit unusual. We're coming into a group race final, and we're not sure where Miata's at. Look, market's a pretty good indication. I think she's what is she, 49 starts now. She's been in the red every one of those starts since her third career start. So the fact she's out to $1.80 and as you said, friendless, it's going to be the question mark over her. We've always, racing's racing. You can always run into bad luck, or a dog has a good day out. Miata's always managed to overcome that, and she's had that air of invincibility about her. But there's some real challenges at the moment. Just 75, or you just can't fold his form. It's just drawn perfectly as well. So.
And just gets quicker with every run. But Peter O'Neill, of course, he's probably a wee bit parochial, being from West Australia. He says she's drawn her box, and she'll be right.
It'll be a great clash. Kel Greenough is our special guest in the studio today. Kel, welcome. You've got a runner in the Australian Cup final this year, and hello, goodbye. You've drawn inside where all the speed is, and you'll be one of those ones charging into that first bend.
Yeah, it's exciting to be there, Nadia, and hopefully you'll have a little bit of luck.
I think a lot of dogs will need luck in this, Marg. As I mentioned, there is a lot of speed drawn inside.
Yeah, there certainly is. We've got Spud Regis coming off the red, and Kel's dog off the check, and of course Elle Brooklyn off 3. I mean, she goes up and down the boxes a wee bit, but last week it absolutely timed it perfect and ran 5:05 for the first split. Kel's dog ran 5:10, and Spud Regis, can you believe, off the red box, 4:99. So he would be a clear leader if he repeats that performance. And red boxes in finals, they're pretty tough.
Yeah, they are. Kel, you've drawn box 2. Pretty happy with that draw?
Yeah, pretty happy, Nadia. I'm hoping Spud Regis does begin, and probably we can hopefully sit behind it. But on saying that, there's a number of dogs that'll be coming across, and we're going to need plenty of luck to get that run through.
You haven't had this dog that long. You're still learning a bit about him?
Yes, I am. He's a quality type who's, I think, just getting better and better. So at this level, he hasn't sort of experienced much of the pressure yet. So I guess we'll find out a little bit more about him Saturday night.
It's amazing to see two dogs from the same litter in this final, in Cynthiana and also Hello Goodbye, litter brothers and sisters. You don't see it too often.
No, you do not. And they, of course, are Bombastic Shiraz, who has 4 of the Greyhounds in the final. What a wonderful sire he's been. And Cynthiana, crikey, this dog's got some chase in it, hasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Her form over the last 6 weeks is as good as anything in the country. She's, I wouldn't say she's burst on the scene. She's always showed a bit of ability, but to put it together the way she has over the last 6 weeks has just been outstanding.
We've got a few prizes to give away too, Mark.
We have.
What have you put together
sitting down in my car. I forgot to bring them up, but I'll drop them before I leave.
Not that you've had much to do this week, by the way.
No. We've got some terrific merchandise packs with lots of good things in fleecies and T-shirts and caps and all sorts of things, yeah.
All right, so we've got these wonderful Meadows packs where they've got fleecy jackets, polo shirts, hats, a stubby holder, and you can all wear that out when you head out to the Meadows on Saturday night. Now, we've got a few of these packs to give away, and I'll be asking a few questions throughout today's panel, and the first caller through with the correct answer, you'll pick up a pack. We'll do it at 3 separate times. It's going to be a great night out at the Meadows. Remember, go to the website at themeadows.org.au. I think I'll throw a question 1300 652 927 is the number to call. And seeing that we've got our special guest in the studio, Kel Greenough, today, what dog does he train in the Australian Cup final on Saturday night out at the Meadows? So what dog will represent the Greenough kennel on Saturday night in the final? 1300 652 927 for your chance to take home one of those packs. Kel, it's always great to be in a final like this, but we've seen this injection in prize money. The heats were worth a fair bit, and we're heading to a final now worth $250,000 to the winner. With some trainers and some owners, this is life-changing stuff.
Look, the money that's being offered at the moment is just sensational, and really it's probably as great an investment as you could make is buying yourself a pup and getting involved in greyhound racing, because this sort of money on offer is just, as you said, life-changing stuff.
Definitely. Marg, you've got a lot planned there on Saturday night, and we'll get into all of that in a moment. Hello, goodbye, starting from box 2 in the market. It's a very difficult race, though, to assess, isn't it? You got Spud Regis, who is the favourite off the red, and no surprise after what he did do in his heat, Mick, but it's a very difficult race to try and analyse the form in.
Yeah, it is, with all that pace around. It's really only Glenn Gallen, I think, who's generally slow out of the boxes, but even with that said, that pace on his inside, he could land on the rail, and we know he's going to be finishing strong. So you're right, it's a very open market. 290-ish is Spud Regis, but the Hot Irish is the Umu's the outsider at $21, but Hot Irish around about $9, and everyone in between. It's a very open market, and I think we'll be going wide in the quaddie.
Kel, you didn't get Renegade Chief through to the final, which must have been disappointing. He didn't have any luck at all being hit from pillar to post in his heat. How's he at the moment?
Look, he's just finally responding to treatment after this week, and hopefully he'll bounce back shortly, but no, he hasn't had the best of luck lately.
Bit of a shame you couldn't get him through, because he would have been a chance in this with all the speed on.
Yeah, look, it's lovely to get into these races, and I'm just glad I got one in it.
Yeah, I bet you are.
Was it a hard sort of back up after the Perth trip, Kel?
Yeah, look, I think it is hard, Marg, but the dogs were feeling okay, I think, going in, and let's face it, Hello Goodbye had the same preparation, was in the same race, and had to trial him 2 days later, and he trialled very well, so I don't really think it was as bad as what people thought.
Yeah.
When we've spoken to you in the past, in particular about him, he gives his all in his races, and you do have to patch him up a bit because he leaves so much on the track. Is that common with greyhounds? Do you often find that, or is it just sort of the type they are?
Yeah, look, I think you find it more with the harder chasing types that put in 100%, and no, it's not common because most of them don't put in as hard as he does.
There are race dogs and race dogs, aren't there? He's a tough race dog.
He's a tough race dog, Marg, and we just love having him because he tries every week.
He had a few niggles very early on in his career, didn't he, as a pup?
Look, he's had niggles all the way through, Mike. He had a problem when he was rearing up, and I think that's probably what's created his next set of issues.
We've got Tom Daly with us. It wouldn't be a final of any magnitude without having representation from the Daly Kennel. Tom, how are things?
Yeah, good, thanks.
Looks a great night on Saturday night at the Meadows.
It does, yes, and good fields on Saturday night, and it's very, very big race that it's showing up.
Well, you've drawn the red with Spud Regis. You probably couldn't have scripted it better. It does look a very open final, but you've probably come up with his right alley.
Yeah, he's perfectly boxed here. We couldn't ask for a better draw, so just hopefully he can get out this week the same as he got out last week.
Yeah, he ran exceptional times last week, Tom. The 4.99 early must have pleased you well and truly. I mean, he came off box 1 last week as well, and 17.69 to the back. It was a terrific run, wasn't it?
Yeah, he's done what he had a good purple patch of form back around the Adelaide Cup Series, and he sort of went off a little bit after that. Just wasn't getting out of a box as well as he normally could. But his last couple of runs, he's come out nicely and doing what he needs to do to lead. And if he can lead, he should run a very hard race, a very good race.
Sorry, Mick.
So I was just going to say, he was good in Cannington to the Perth Cup Series and won on Cup night. How important was that week off between that last run at Cannington and the heats last week?
Probably not. That probably didn't have much to do with it. Probably, I think, more to do with the fact that he was away from here for a couple of weeks, having a bit of a freshen up, just racing at a different track and staying over at another property for a little while. So even though he didn't make the Perth Cup final, he stayed for another week and sort of gave him a bit of a freshen up at a different place, and seemed to help him, I think.
He had a fair break, a 5 or 6 week break between November and January, maybe a bit more. But did he have some issues then, or was he just having a break?
No, not really. He just had a sort of a break. He'd been racing for a fair while. He's quite a young dog, and he sort of just had a little bit of a freshen up, and it's actually taken him a little while to hit his straps again. But like I said, his last couple of runs have been good.
You've got Erica Allen in the distance event as well. She's drawn box 5. Do you see her in with a chance at all?
She'd probably need to run a lot better race than she has lately. She ran third last week, which wasn't a bad run, but she'd need to improve a lot to beat Miata, improve Impala, Bale and Zylia Allen, and Destiny Fireball. She'd need to pull something out of the box to win that race.
Tom, you've also got the reserve there in Electra Scarlet. I really liked her run last start behind Miata. Look, she blew the start. She got back. She was just as good as Miata late. It was an encouraging run.
Yeah, she's not a bad bitch. If she doesn't get held up at all and gets a clear run, she can run very cheeky races. But if a dog gets in a road and it stops the momentum, once it takes her a while to wind back up again, and she sort of takes a while. That's the end of her in that race. But if she gets a clear run, even though she comes out ordinary and just can come storming home, it wouldn't surprise me to run a place in that race if she got a start.
Yeah, it's a great race. It's I think, we saw Miata with a stranglehold on the staying races, but there's a couple of stays there that have just emerged that are very, very competitive.
Yeah, certainly are. And like I said, the Destiny Fireball, obviously an emerging stayer. Proven Impala last week I thought was an enormous effort first start over the 700, and Zylia Allen's a very exciting young dog.
Yeah, you've got a couple of dogs that are going to be bowling along in front there with Zylia Allen and Proven Impala and Destiny Fireball. That'll be a race for the lead, won't it?
It certainly will be. Hopefully they're all racing away at the lead and giving us a bit of a clear run towards the back of the field if that pitch Scarlet gets a run. But like I said, with Erica Allen, she just need enormous amount of luck to win that race.
You're hopeful, Tom?
Yeah, need more than hope, I think.
Good luck on Saturday night.
Good on you, thank you.
There he is, Tom Daly, and Tom will be one of our special guests on the Dogmatic podcast too, him and Andrea.
Really? That'll be interesting.
Yeah,
You'll be tuned into that. Hey, tell me, you made a guest appearance as well.
I did. It was a life-changing experience for me.
I'm sure it was.
This is going to be a big episode of Dogmatic. Robbie Tester is pumping this up big time. Big time.
I'll tell you what. Oh no, he hasn't stopped talking about it.
I think he fancies himself in working with a couple of the girls myself.
Yeah, and he's also planning a wedding too, between a certain co-host of Dogmatic.
Really?
Yeah.
Goodness.
If they happen to win the Australian Cup. He's got it all worked out.
Oh, has he? I wonder if he's consulted with them.
No, I don't think he has.
I think he had a similar thing leading to the Melbourne Cup last year.
Yeah, he did.
Weddings.
Yeah, exactly.
He's got a thing about weddings, hasn't he?
He does. He seems to be fascinated by them. We've got Sandra Collins with us. Sandra, you've got Cynthiana in the Australian Cup final. What more do we say about her? She's just met everything you could possibly hope for in her last couple of runs, and here she is going into one of the richest races in the land. You must be excited.
Oh, absolutely fantastic. Yeah, we are very excited, and we're just sort of on a roller coaster at the moment.
We've got the trainer of her little brother in with us, Kel Greenough. It might be a battle between you two.
I don't mind him cornelling with me as long as I'm in front of him.
Gee, now you're getting,
I'm getting used to this talk business now.
Yeah, good.
You're getting used to winning too, I bet.
Oh, gee, if I could keep taking that. That's going down real well.
I've got to say, I don't think I've seen anybody as excited as what Sandra was after the Temlee win, and some of the other trainers in the race actually came to me and said, "We're really happy that lady won. She was just so excited."
Actually, I think they were calling for an ambulance at one stage.
Now, you've come up with box 6 again. It's probably not ideal with so much pace, but she's surprised us in the last couple of her runs, the fact she can defy those awkward boxes and still get across and lead. But one day luck's not going to work in your favour, Sandra.
Yes, I know. I just hope that we've got one more lucky run in her at the moment. It'll be really nice Saturday night, but you just don't know until the night comes. You just don't know. You can't put it in their head. As much as I've tried talking to how to run the race, you just can't put it into her head.
Well, last week, I thought was just a an absolute gutsy run because she didn't get a clear run. She came from the outside of the same box, actually, from box 6, but her efforts to win were just huge, I thought. And you know, to me, I look this week and she's got Hot Irish inside her and Glengellan inside there. And those two probably do lack a little bit of early pace. She just might get that look at them a lot easier this week.
Yeah, actually, that's what we've looked at too. I'm just hoping that they can just miss it by half a length. Just let us get that clear run. And yeah, I thought last day's run was real gutsy. And then to run home on the 11.91 split, run home was just astonishing because I thought she's bound to be a bit injured or a bit out or some sort because she took a couple of heavy bumps. And then when she's come home and won, I thought, you little ripper, you really pushed in and I wasn't going to let anybody else come through.
And you've got the other Gippsler, Johnny Norden, with Lyndon Magpie in box 7 outside you. He's a good dog, isn't he?
Yes, he is. And as long as he doesn't come right across, which I don't know for sure. I haven't watched a lot of his races that closely of late, so I'm not sure if he's going to go to the rails or not, because I know he's pretty good at railing at the Meadows, but I'm not sure as he jumps whether he goes straight to the rails. So we need to be either in front of him or going at the same pace as him, anyhow, at least.
She's a big girl, isn't she? She's over 31 kilos. Has got a fair bit of size about her. She can probably take a bump a bit better than the little girls in the race to get. Yeah.
Yes, and she proved it on Saturday night. I feel that she was getting hampered by a couple of biggies. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, we looked at the likes of Hot Irish. She's another of the bitches in the race. She's the only other bitch in the race, and she's clocks in at 28 kilos, so she's got a bit of size about her, your girl.
Yeah, and I think she knows how to use it too. She knows she's got some weight there.
She's certainly well put together. When you have a look at her, I'd looked at her first up and thought she was a dog. You know, she's pretty solid, isn't she? Yeah,
she stands well, and she's got a little bit of length on her as well. Yeah. Yeah, she tones her well. She tones up her that she looks like the dog, as you say. Unless you really look at her, many a time if people have said to her, it's a him, and had to have a second look to say that it's a girl.
Just have to pull up her skirt and have a bit of a look, eh?
I was going to say, there's no undercarriage, is there? So
no undercarriage, no.
This would mean so much for you, Sandra, and I know that you don't want to look ahead, but this could simply change your life for winning this race on Saturday night.
Oh, it would make a huge difference, yes, definitely. Yeah, we already it has, and, you know, she's bought us 2 new cars, so I suppose that's a good start to start with. And it's just sort of like at our end of our life, it just sort of takes the pressure off our super. We can do a little bit more.
Take that trip that you were planning on.
Yes, that's definitely in the books. That's a tick on the calendar for sure. We've just got to work in a time and place to get that to Vegas now. I've got no option, but we're going regardless.
And I'll bet you're not going whilst the dog's racing, because you won't want to leave her.
That's right.
I'm sure there'll be a few trainers put their hands up. They'd like to look after her for you.
Well, we are going away for a couple of weeks to Phuket, which was already in the pipeline at Christmas time, and we're leaving it with Paul, and he's freezing out just having her for those couple of weeks. Whatever something happens to her and things like that, he's really worried. He won't be racing her, but she'll have a well-deserved couple of weeks off. Yeah.
Well, she'll deserve that after Saturday night. Sandra, all the best of luck.
Thank you very much. And I hope she does well for everybody.
Sandra Collins, who has Cynthiana in the Australian Cup final, and it's amazing how she's just burst onto the scene, Marg. She's